coming. I was almost trying to wonder. I mean, not trying, I was wondering. So, hi, nice to see you, everybody. Welcome.
شي 4.
Okay, so now that everybody's coming in, maybe it's appropriate to say welcome to our July webinar. Honestly, to be honest, I'm very impressed that all of you have decided to join us tonight. I was convinced the world is at the beach. and maybe some of you are. And thankfully, with the technology we have access to nowadays, even if you're at the beach, you can still join the webinar, which is a plus. But I really thought, oh, let's see if we're gonna manage to what will our students do and how will they react. But look at all of you, and I'm so impressed and I'm so thankful. It's really exciting. Just out of curiosity, I'll list. We have over 83 people registered, at least before we started the webinar. That was the number. And the countries that we have people registered on the webinar are United Arab Emirates, Albania, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Germany, France, United Kingdom, Greece, Croatia, Ireland, Israel, India, Kenya, Lebanon, Moldova, Italy, United States, North Macedonia, Netherlands, Romania, Serbia, Kosovo, France, Turkey, and United States. Did I miss anybody? Please speak up if I missed your country. Okay, well, I must have said everybody because nobody is reacting, so it must have been all good. Hi, Denise. Yes. My name is Catherine Prentice. I am one of the hosts of tonight's webinars. I'm one of the trainers of Noble Manhattan Coaching. Brian and I are the managing directors also for the coach training division in the Balkan region and Southeast Europe. And we also have Hule Kurt, who will be also our speaker tonight. She is the managing director for Switzerland. So, man, that woman is amazing. She speaks Turkish, English, German, French. Anything else I'm missing?
No, that's it. That's fine.
Very good. And so she will present the topic on the subject of ethics in coaching, something that's so important, especially that actually somehow our current world presents certain interesting challenges and ethical issues. So, but before we go into that, please allow me just a couple of minutes to give you an overview of what you're actually attending. So those of you who are coaches in training or graduates of Noble Manhattan Coaching training program, they know what it's all about. This webinar is a monthly training that we do for our coaches in training, as well as coaches that have graduated the Practitioner Coach Diploma program. That is the flagship course of Noble Manhattan. And who is Noble Manhattan? Noble Manhattan Coaching is the leading European coach training company. And it's one of the very first coach training companies, the longest existing on the planet, that have been shaping the face of coaching since 1993, when it first started. So it's an international company, even though the head office is based in the UK. And currently we train coaches in close to 30 countries around the globe on 4 continents. So even tonight's audience that we have gathered, as if you remember everybody that I read, it represents also the audience that our coach training programs actually reach. Now, there is, I'm going to, did somebody say something? No? Okay, sorry. So, I will share a little bit of my, I will share my screen. I'm not going to give you a complete presentation of the company, because you actually can enjoy in your own pleasure a lot of information that is already published on our YouTube channel. So give me a moment to take you there. And I would like to encourage you. There is a very fascinating webinar that we recorded just a few weeks or few months ago, led by Gerard Donovan, who is the CEO and founder of Noble Manhattan Coaching. See this handsome gentleman? That's Gerard. So as you go on our YouTube channel, this is the channel that our region supports at the moment, Noble Manhattan Europe CE. Just right on the front, you will see the presentation from Gerard. Okay. So, and then if you go inside in the videos, you will notice a presentation that covers one of our courses, which is the Coaching Masterclass. And you will see a lot of other presentations that cover professional coaching, what is the Practitioner Coach Diploma, how you can train as a coach, how leaders use coaching in developing their people and teams, how you can grow your own career through coaching. You'll meet a lot of students, coaches, graduates, and trainers from Noble Manhattan. So enjoy. And please, please also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we certainly publish weekly, and sometimes more often than once per week, a lot of information about coach training. Okay, now I'm going to stop this share, and I'll take you on a short tour of the Practitioner Coach Diploma. And of course, the focus will be the ethical coaching. Now, look, we are one of those companies that we still believe in sending you materials on paper. So when you sign up to be part of the training, you will receive actually 3 textbooks with 12 modules. Now, I'm going to only show you the PDFs. I'm not going to bring the books here. So not to make it too long, but I want to draw your attention to this is the module on ethics, which is number 10. As you can see, the course, I hope you can see it well. Maybe I'll try to enlarge it a little bit. So these are the topics that are covered. Coaching, conversation, listening skills, questioning skills, the T-GROW model and coaching models, how to build rapport, how to work with the belief system of a person, how to work with the value system, building self-esteem and goal setting and goal achievement, vision, and ethical coaching, which is the topic of tonight, and case studies covering a wide range of situations that are typical for coaching. Now, tonight's module is on ethics. However, in the short amount of time that we will be having together, it is impossible to actually teach you the entire module, and that's not our goal. Now, I want to remind you that our students get monthly webinars on the subjects of all of these topics, okay? So there have been also other webinars on this topic. And every time we cover a different angle, and usually we have a different trainer as well. Now, somebody asked me in the comments when you were registering, somebody said, will there be a recording of this webinar? And yes, there is a recording of this webinar. You all noticed that it said this webinar is being recorded. We record all of our webinars. However, we don't release them. They are only available for our coaches. And currently online, we have about hundreds of hours of these kind of training webinars. And that's one of the supports. I said one because there's many more. one of the support pillars that we have available for people that train to be a coach with Noble Manhattan Coaching. Now, look, ethical coaching is 87 pages. Okay. So that's a lot of information, which is why I'm telling you in this webinar, you will only get a glimpse. Of course, if you're a new coach that are just starting, don't worry, don't get overwhelmed. It's a very interesting, fascinating reading and covers a lot of information. Here are some of the topics: boundaries, contracts, self-interest, termination of relationships, disclosure, confidentiality, personal conduct, expertise, representation, foundations, private practice, public sector, police checks, a Noble Manhattan code of conduct, and this is very interesting also, boundaries between coaching and therapy, and a lot more. 87 pages. I was actually wondering which is the longest module, and the conversation and ethical coaching is like almost tie. Conversation is 85 pages, but these are the two most the longest actually modules, because they are very fundamental. I mean, everything is fundamental. Okay, all the skills are fundamental, and everything, even though the topics might sound as if they're familiar. I mean, who hasn't had a conversation in their life, right? What are we going to talk about? Conversation. But when it comes to applying these principles and skills within a coaching context, things change. There are different rules that play. And so, yeah, conversation, listening skills. Somebody said, oh, well, where would I be even using coaching skills? I don't plan to be a coach. But now tell me one area of life where having excellent conversation skills is not a plus. Or where could it be an area of life where listening is not important? Now, tell me, think about areas of life or your work or your kids, working with your kids, working with your teams at work, interacting, having relationships, whether it's with superiors, peers, subordinates, parents, relatives, kids, husbands and wives, friends, strangers, customers, service providers, you name it. And just to think about the relationship where maybe if you had a little better, if you're better skilled, let's say in your questioning skills, or you could understand the values of this person and what drives them, wouldn't things become even better for you? See, coaching, even whether you become a professional coach or not, those skills are fundamental for the overall quality of life. Any relationship you take that you have, and we are humans, we're social beings, those relationships surround us. They relationships is what life is full of. So they are amazing tools and skills to know no matter where you are. And of course, if you want to take it further and become a career, I think it's an excellent career because, for example, I can have my clients all over the planet, like tonight's webinar is showing that it's possible. Okay, so going back to ethics, and I'll pass the mic to Julia to take us there. I wanted to show you one more document, which is the Practitioner Handbook. This is a separate book that we send you, which actually covers the structure and content and the way the course is organized. It is 96 pages long, so it's a lot of information there also. I am going to open it right now. So that means I'll have to stop the share and share it again so you can see the content. So this is the handbook. Now, the Practitioner Coach Diploma, which is called also PCD in our lingo, internal lingo, So besides the welcoming and the explanations of the contents, I want to draw your attention to here, to the ethical code. Now, one of the things that the Practitioner Coach Diploma is different from a lot of other coach training courses that you can find is that we are actually accredited by 5 different accreditation bodies. Sometimes I'm actually surprised. It surprises me when I hear graduates of other courses who are not even aware that there are more than 1 accreditation bodies. In a lot of times, I mean, depending on the area of the world that you dwell in or you live in or work in, you may have been introduced to 1, sometimes maybe 2 accreditation bodies. So when we teach our students, our coaches, about ethical code, we actually cover the ethical code of a number of organizations. So when you graduate, you're actually versed in not just 1, but a number. So I'm going to try to scroll down and show you which we are covering. So in this manual, you will learn about the ethical code of the International Authority for Professional Coaching and Mentoring, IAPCNM, the International Coach Federation, ICF, and the European Mentoring and Coaching Council. Now, again, depending on which part of the world you are situated, you probably recognize 1 or maybe all 3 of them. And we're also registered and accredited by Institute of Leadership and Management and ILM City and Guilds. So as you go through your coach training, I'm going to scroll quickly down. For training, standards and ethics. And here we go into great detail, educating you what the leading accreditation bodies actually cover as far as ethics and professionalism. You can see the detailed description of everything. So yes, we're very serious about the ethics and the professional standards. Also, we are accredited by these organizations, so obviously we need to be familiar with them. And so when you walk away from your training, you will be very well versed, no matter which part of the world you will be practicing and building your career, you are prepared, and you're also able to receive accreditation, personal accreditation from any of these organizations. Okay. So, okay, so, and finally, I'm going to close this down. Now, where would you find information about this course? Well, some of you probably recognize that you have received an email from me already. So if you haven't answered, I'm really eager to hear back from you. So I'm just saying that here because I know some of you received my emails. So feel free to answer back, to contact Julia or me or Brian. We can give you further details. Of course, you can find information on the Noble Manhattan main page. And also, if you want to visit a few more pages, here are some of our local, as far as not central, not Noble Manhattan. No, they're all Noble Manhattan pages, but one is the main one, which is noblemanhattan.com. Then europec.net. There's a little dash in the middle. This is information about coach training in the Balkan region. Coaching in Bulgaria is self-explanatory. You can find information about coach training courses in Bulgaria. And noblemanhattan.ch is the website where you can find coaching information about training as a coach in Switzerland and the areas which that office is responsible for. So there's plenty of information for you to look for, and we hope to be able to support you in achieving your coaching aspirations. That's why we're here for you. And we will support you not only while you train, but also after you graduate, because these webinars and the online platform is available to you through not only through your entire life as a student coach, but also after you graduate, you have access to our support webinars and online resources for you to continue growing and developing your business. Okay. So now, Julia, I'm going to pass the mic to you to take us more in depth into that fascinating world of ethics in coaching.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful introduction into Noble Manhattan. And I hope everyone can see my screen. So who am I? I am Julia Kurt. I have trained actually with Noble Manhattan and became a coach. And right after, I was so fascinated by the family and the wonderful caring and sharing that I took over as well as a managing director Switzerland. So here I am, trained as a coach, accredited by the IAPCM, as well as with ILM and ICF. So I'm really happy about that. And it gives a lot of credibility if you want to perform as a coach. And what is this all about? Ethical challenges in coaching. It's not the most, how shall I say, interesting topic maybe. And why is that? Because everything which is important in life is not so interesting, right? But it's really, really essential that as a coach, if you are demonstrating, executing, and have the profession as a coach, that you have got some regulations in place and some standards. So we're going to touch a bit, scratch a bit the surface today. Not everything we can cover, as Katrin alluded to, because it's a huge module. There's a lot of information in there, but I have picked some, really cherry-picked some, which I thought would be interesting and really worthwhile to go a bit deeper into it. So with no further ado, let's see. Challenges. Yeah. Ethics. The right and the wrong. The devil and the angel. Looks a bit, oh my God, what does this mean now in coaching? Is it so dangerous here? Are we going to burn in hell or are we going to be in heaven? Whatever you believe, of course, in the universe or whatever. So it's really about not us teaching you what is right or wrong. Definitely not. But to have ethics and code of conduct, and I really, really suggest and advise strongly, once you've finished, to go in depth in the module that just Katrin showed about the code of conduct of Noble Manhattan, because it's really on the highest standards that we as Noble Manhattan coaches would perform, being responsible of ourselves, being responsible of our clients, and how we are creating the relationship, where to set the boundaries and what to do in case of conflict of interest, because that can happen. That can happen very easily. So let's go into what are the wonderful topics we are going to talk about. It's really first a bit of ethics. What does this mean? Because it can mean anything for anyone. Everyone has got a different perception of any terminology. So let's put that a bit into perspective. Then the dynamics of a client-coach relationship, as Katrin alluded, it's a relationship. It's like we need to nurture it. We need to maintain it. We need to create trust. You can think about this coach-client relationship like a doctor, like a friend, best friend, whatever, but it's a very deep relationship that we have with our coachees. And it's very important that we are keeping track of it. Confidentiality, because I thought this is really important, because we are really going into very sensitive topics with the coachee. And that's how are we ensuring that the client feels safe? And what is our responsibility as a coach? Because we have got huge responsibility here. I mean, as a coach, we are playing such a big role, you can't imagine. And if we are not at the professional development, like at the standards that we should be, we can even harm the lives of our clients. Like a doctor who's not trained well, doesn't have enough experience, who might do a mistake and without supervision. So that's why it's very important that we have as well how we call coaching professional development. We have got some other stuff there. I'm going to touch base on that. And then last but not least, it's about you. You're a coach, yes, and you took lots of burden, but it's important for you as well to take care of yourself. So these are the topics I just cherry-picked out of the wonderful module. And with no further ado, we're going to go into the first one, which is the definition of ethical. And I picked out Oxford Dictionary. So as usual, you go onto Google trying to find really the explanation of it. But I thought the Oxford Dictionary was the best, spot on. And that's why I put it up. And let's read it out all together. The moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. You can see I've picked the wonderful dog there who does an activity like giving hands, was taught about giving hands. It's beautiful. And in our cases, what is this activity? The activity is our coaching business. As a coach, this is what it refers to. And governance. It's really about regulations. It's really about a framework. And that's what we want to give here today. An idea about you as a coach to be a coach, how to create a framework for yourself as a coach, as a contract, what to include in a contract, and how to create something which is ethically, morally, moral. It's not really tangible, but good for the coachee and for you.